I pay homage to the Blessed One, the Worthy One, the Fully Enlightened One. I pay homage to the Blessed One, the Worthy One, the Fully Enlightened One. I pay homage to the Blessed One, the Worthy One, the Fully Enlightened One. The Three Refuges. I take refuge in the Buddha. May all sentient beings understand the Great Way profoundly and bring forth the Bodhi mind. I take refuge in the Dharma. May all sentient beings deeply enter the Sutra treasury and have wisdom vast as the sea. I take refuge in the Sangha. May all sentient beings form together a great assembly, one and all in harmony. And the Bodhicitta prayer. With a wish to free all beings, I shall always go for refuge to the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha until I reach full enlightenment. Enthused by wisdom and compassion, today in the Buddha's presence, I generate the mind for full awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings. As long as space remains, as long as sentient beings remain, until then, may I too remain and dispel the miseries of the world. And now we will do the 6 perfections. As bodhisattvas, we seek to practice generosity, discipline, patience, exertion, meditation, and wisdom. We will now have our first 15 minutes of meditation practice. Again, seated if you're seated, laying down if you're laying down, washing the dishes if that's what you're doing. Meditation should be in all aspects of our lives. My trip pee. Okay. Okay, we will now recite the gata on the opening of the sutras. So let's put that up there for you. There we go. Len, you're in my video. This Dharma, incomparably profound and minutely subtle, is rarely encountered, even in hundreds of thousands of millions of ages. Now we see it, hear it, hold and maintain it. May we completely realize the true mind of all Buddhas. Okay, so sit back. And as I teased a little bit in my Zen Minute today, I want to talk a little bit about the 6 perfections. As you're aware, we recite those every practice session that we do. And so what are they? Why do we recite them? And then I really want to talk about the perfection of wisdom. So as I teased a little bit today, I had a reading that I did from one of the Prajna Paramita Sutras, and it was a discourse between the monk Subhuti and the Buddha. As is a little bit common in a lot of the Prajna Paramita Sutras, Subhuti is the one who either asked the Buddha to clarify something on behalf of sentient beings, or in this case, on behalf of bodhisattvas, right? And so, as I recited in that, and as I read earlier in the Zen Minute today, I'll go through that again today because it reviews the 6 perfections that we recite together when we do our opening liturgy, and we did that earlier today as well. So again, it went like this. Subhuti asked the Buddha, he said, what is a bodhisattva's perfection of giving? So that's the first one, right? Giving, or dana. And the Buddha answered, here a bodhisattva, his thoughts associated with knowledge of all modes, gives gifts. In other words, inward or outward things. And having made them common to all beings, he dedicates them to supreme enlightenment. And also others he instigates thereto. But there is nowhere an apprehension of anything. He instigates others to do the same. That's what a bodhisattva does. He encourages others to follow these same perfections. And that's a common theme that the Buddha explains to Subhuti in this passage, that when we practice the paramitas, we also encourage others to do the same. What an important part of being a bodhisattva. In yesterday's Zen Minute that I did, I had a reading that I did from Wild Ivy, which was the autobiography from Hakuin, and the Japanese Zen master from the 18th century. And one of the things that Hakuin says is that we should drive the 4 great vows, the 4 great bodhisattva vows. And we recite those 4 bodhisattva vows as well, the 4 great vows. We recite those in every time we practice together. I do that even when I practice alone, because those set our intent. When we recite those with a pure intent, that is the definition of a bodhisattva. That is what makes one a bodhisattva. Those 4 great vows, those 4 bodhisattva vows, sometimes called the 4 impossible vows. But when we practice being a bodhisattva, we practice these 6 perfections, the first one of which was giving. Okay? So then Subhuti asked again, What is a bodhisattva's perfection of morality? And the Buddha then answers, he himself lives under the obligation of the 10 ways of wholesome acting, and also others he instigates thereto. What are those 10 ways? Those are the 10 precepts that we take when we take the bodhisattva vows, the bodhisattva precepts. Those first 10 precepts of the bodhisattva precepts are the 10 ways. And we've talked about those in the past, and I review those right before the Christmas season. And I review those every full moon, every new moon. So fortnightly, I review those precepts that I have taken. But as a bodhisattva priest in our tradition, I've taken those 10 plus the additional 48 minor precepts. So those are the precepts that we take as bodhisattvas, and those 10 are the 10 wholesome ways that the Buddha says that we practice morality. And then Subhuti says, what is a bodhisattva's perfection of patience? And the Lord Buddha says, he himself becomes one who has achieved patience, and others also he instigates to patience. We practice patience and we teach patience to others. What a wonderful, wonderful reiteration of what a bodhisattva does. He teaches others to do the same thing, right? It's a beautiful thing. And then Subhuti asks, what is a bodhisattva's perfection of vigor? He dwells persistently in the 5 perfections, and also others he instigates to do likewise. And what Subhuti asks, and what is the bodhisattva's perfection of concentration or meditation, as we translate it as well? And the Buddha said, he himself, through skill and means, enters into the trances. That was this definition, this translation here, trances, but it's a meditative state. Yet he is not reborn in the corresponding heavens of form as he could, and others also he instigates to do likewise. So what does that mean, he's not reborn? It means he does not meditate to attain Buddhahood, to become an arhat. He does not meditate and perfect the meditations in order to be reborn into the heavens. He always wants to seek rebirth here in the mortal existence to continue to save other sentient beings. Save from what? Save from suffering. And then finally, in the 6th, Subhuti asks, what is a bodhisattva's perfection of wisdom? To which the Buddha answers, he does not settle down in any dharma. He contemplates the essential, original nature of all dharmas, and others also he instigates to the contemplation of all dharmas. Does not settle into one dharma. What does that mean? Here's what it means. All dharmas are empty. And we're going to chant that after our next meditation session. We're going to chant that in the Heart Sutra. All dharmas are empty of self-existence. Just as we're empty of self-existence. We do not exist by ourselves, absent all the other things around us. Historically, ancestrally, in the whole cosmos, we do not exist separate from those things. We are a part of the greater whole. That is the perfection of wisdom. Understanding that. Recognizing that. And incorporating that fact into our own realization of what we are, who we are, that emptiness of everything, that all dharmas are empty, and we can see them in their original nature. So what might that mean? I used to struggle when I practice Zen, and then I would go and I'd practice Theravada Buddhism, or I'd practice Pure Land Buddhism, and I used to struggle. Which one was Buddhism? They can all be Buddhism. They're all part of that one greater Dharma of all Dharmas being no Dharmas, being empty of inherent self-existence. And we find wisdom in them wherever wisdom is available to us. And we practice that wisdom. We cling to it in a way that we don't cling to anything. We're not attached to anything. We accept that everything is empty of inherent self-existence. And we're all part of that greater whole. When we recognize that, that is our own Kensho moment. That's our own initial awakening to the Buddha way. Recognizing that non-duality. It's not me and you. It's everything. I had a great opportunity this last week. My daughter was visiting, and she was raised by her mother in another religion. And so I got to take her to a temple and to explain to her what we practice in Buddhism. This temple had a statue of the Buddha, and I got to explain to her why we bow to the Buddha. This temple had a huge statue of Guan Yin, and I got to explain to her what this represented, this compassion for the world, compassion for all beings, and recognizing that we are not separate from them. And then I got to take her up into this pagoda, where each level of the pagoda had urns and memorials to people who had passed away, and each level also had a statue of Kshitigarbha. And I got to explain to her what Kshitigarbha represented to us, and that we seek to encourage those who passed away from this mortal existence, to assist them in their next existence, and to recognize that oneness, that existence that they have does not end with death, but that it continues, and it continues as part of the greater whole. And I just had a wonderful experience explaining this to her, and letting her see that all things continue to exist. Existed long before we were in our current form, will exist long after we're in our current form, and that we all self-exist and inter-are. And it was a beautiful opportunity to see her recognize the same. So I really enjoyed that opportunity to share the Dharma with her in a way that I rarely get to, because like I said, she lives elsewhere and was raised by her mother in a different religion. But recognizing that her religion and my religion are all equally empty of inherent self-existence. That none is greater than the other, but seeking wisdom, seeking understanding is the path that we should all attempt to walk. That is the way. And recognizing that ordinary life is all the way. So As we practice these, or seek to practice these 6 perfections, the ultimate realization is in the perfection of wisdom, and realizing and perceiving that wisdom that the Buddha described there in this sutra on the Prajnaparamita. That we recognize the essential original nature of all dharmas. And as bodhisattvas, we seek to help others contemplate the original nature of all dharmas. So as we enter into our next 15 minutes of meditation, let's contemplate that. Let's contemplate the original, essential nature of all dharmas being empty. And then we'll chant about that in the Heart Sutra next. Okay, so thank you, friends. And let's enter into our next 15 minutes of meditation. All right, as I promised, we will chant about that emptiness and that perfection of wisdom now as we chant the Heart Sutra. So let me get ready to share that with you here. I'll get that to fit here. Almost. Let's see. That will have to do. Okay, that'll do, folks. Hopefully, let me switch these so you can see it better. There, that's a little bit better. Yeah, that'll do. The Maha Prajñam Paramitam Hridaya Sutra Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva, when practicing deeply the Prajna Paramita, perceives that all five skandhas are empty and is safe from all suffering and distress. Shariputra, form does not differ from emptiness. Emptiness does not differ from form. That which form is emptiness, that which is emptiness. Form the same is true of feelings, perceptions, impulses, consciousness. Shariputra, all dharmas are marked with emptiness. They do not appear or disappear, are not tainted or pure, do not increase or decrease. Therefore in emptiness, no form, no feelings, perceptions, impulses, consciousness, no eyes, no ears, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind, no color, no smell, no taste, no touch, no object of mind, no realm of eyes, and so forth, until no realm of mind consciousness, no ignorance, and also no extinction of it, and so forth, until no old age and death, and also no extinction of them, no suffering, no origination, no stopping, no path, no cognition, also no attainment, with nothing to attain. The Bodhisattva depends on Prajna Paramita, and the mind is no hindrance. Without any hindrance, no fears exist. Far apart from every perverted view, one dwells in nirvana. In the three worlds, all Buddhas depend on Prajna Paramita, and is Tena Nuttara Samyak Sambodhi. Therefore know that Prajna Paramita paramita, is the great transcendent mantra, is the great bright mantra, is the utmost mantra, is the supreme mantra, which is able to relieve all suffering and is true, not false. So proclaim the prajna paramita mantra, proclaim the mantra which says gate gate para gate para samgate bodhi swaha, gate gate para gate para samgate bodhi swaha, gate gate para gate para samgate bodhi swaha. Okay, I apologize. I got a little lost there for a moment. It's after 10 o'clock at night here, and my brain almost shut down on me. Okay, so now we will do our dedication of merit. Okay. Make that a little bit bigger, I think. All right, I'm not sure that's any bigger, but it's okay. All sentient beings are one seamless body and pass quickly from birth to death. We remember those who cared for us and are gone, those who are ill, those who are at war, who are hungry, and who are in pain. May they heal and have peace. We especially dedicate our service to Elaine Sue, Ngop Lei, Sang Pham, My Land Pham, Sarah, now you can think of someone in your mind or say their name out loud. All beings in the 10 directions, subject to the greed, hatred, and delusions of themselves and others. All Buddhas throughout space and time, all honored ones, Bodhisattva Mahasattvas, wisdom beyond wisdom, Maha Prajna Paramita. All right, now let's do the 4 great vows as we talked about earlier, that creates that Bodhisattva recognition for us. Sentient beings are numberless. We vow to save them all. Delusions are endless. We vow to cut through them all. The teachings are infinite. We vow to learn them all. The Buddha way is inconceivable. We vow to attain it. Life and death are of supreme importance. Time passes swiftly by, and opportunities to awaken are easily lost. Strive to realize your true nature. Do not squander your time by night or day. Thank you for joining me this morning, folks. I hope this starts your Sunday off well. I hope you have a wonderful day and a wonderful week ahead of you. I hope that with the new year you made some great vows. As Bodhisattvas, we vow to make great vows, and I hope you did. make a vow of more practice, attentive practice of being more compassionate with all beings. Those are my vows. Those are my wishes for you as well. Have a great day and a great week ahead of you, and I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.